Hello everyone, this is Vardman and welcome back. Let's start with our today's topic. We will be learning a priori analysis and we will also cover different questions on time complexity as well. The approach we will be following is learning from example and by solving questions. This way we can remember things better as we will have hands-on experience. Now let's start with a priori analysis. So it is determination of order of magnitude of a statement. We basically use asymptotic notation to represent time complexity, and we will learn asymptotic notation in detail in our upcoming videos. A priori analysis is all about calculation of unit time consumed to execute a program. Time consumed at each statement is calculated and is later added for each statement to get overall time complexity. Let's write a small program to understand this. We have our main function and inside this we have three statements: x equal to 1, y equal to 1 and z equal to x plus y. Consider this an algorithm to add two numbers. The algorithm consists of three statements: 1, 2, 3. You can ignore main keyword and focus on the actual statement that are doing work. Here we consider every operation is taking 1 unit of time because this is manual analysis and no hardware or software is involved. Here in our example, each statement is consuming 1 unit of time, so we can write here. So each statement gets 1 unit and the total unit will be 1 plus 1 plus 1. So total 3 unit of time is consumed and 3 is a constant. So we can say constant amount of time is consumed here. We are assigning 1 unit of time for every operation, whether it is assignment, multiplication or addition. Some people will say in some language multiplication take more time than addition, then why we have allocated same time for both? So to answer that, in a priori analysis, it is independent of any programming language and it is done when the logic of algorithm is written even before the coding is done. That's why for execution of a single statement, we are taking 1 unit of time. We can understand this concept better with example. So let's do some questions. We will be doing series of questions and each question will cover different concept. So let's get started with our first question. So here we have got our main function and inside main function there is a single statement x equal to y plus 2. Here y plus 2 is being assigned to x. So this is a single statement, so we can say it is consuming 1 unit of time. Here we can ignore the main function because the work is only done by this statement x equal to y plus 2 and main function is just for declaration. So the total work here done will be big O of 1. For now assume big O notation as a way to denote time complexity. I will clear all your doubts regarding notation in the upcoming examples. So even if there were more statements like y equal to 3, z equal to 4 and x equal to 5, so their total statement will become 4. So total time consumed will be 4 unit. So we can write this as big O of 4 and as 4 is a constant, so this will eventually become big O of 1. So consider like this way: if we have 100 unit of time consumed or 10,000 or 1 lakh, so these all are constant, so constant are treated as 1, so we can write everything as big O of 1. Let's see the second example. So inside the main block we have two statement. First is x equal to y plus 2 and the second statement is inside a for loop. So this is the second statement. So let's see first statement. So this is taking 1 unit of time because it is a single statement. For the second statement, it is also taking a 1 unit of time because this is also a single statement. But this statement is inside a for loop and this for loop is running from I equal to 1 and it will run until the value is becoming greater than n, and the increment condition for this loop is I plus plus, so it will increment plus 1 every time. Now let's see how many times this for loop is running. So if we try run the code, when the value of I is 1, The second statement will run one time. When it's become 2, it will run again one time. For 3, it will also run one time, and it will keep on running until the value of I become n. So for nth time, it will also run one time, but the value become n plus 1, the loop will terminate, and the second statement will run 0 time here. So if we sum of these all values, so this will be 1 plus 1 plus 1 up till it run n times, so the total will be n. So the inside loop, the second statement will run total of n time. So here we can find out the time complexity. So it will be time complexity for the first statement, which is 1, plus time complexity for the second statement, so it is n. So total time complexity we can write big O of 1 plus n, which is equal to big O of n. Let's see why we have ignored 1 in n plus 1 and consider only n. So before that, let me make some space. So if we compare n plus 1 and n, first take the value of n equal to 1. So n plus 1 will become 1 plus 1, which is 2. When we compare those two value of n and n plus 1, so n plus 1 is double than n. Now let's take a value of n equal to 10. Here n plus 1 will become n plus 1, which is 11. Here also n plus 1 is 10% larger than n. But if we take larger value of n, suppose we take 1 lakh as the value of n. So here n plus 1 will become 1 lakh 1. Now we compare the value of n plus 1 and n. So there is not a large difference between them as compared to previous double and 10% difference. And in a priori analysis, I have already told you this is an approximate estimation. So we can ignore the value of 1, which is very less compared to 1 lakh. So here we are saying that 1 lakh 1 is equal to 1 lakh. So this statement is not correct mathematically. Mathematically this statement is not correct, but asymptotically this statement is correct. Both are approximately equal. Let's see the third question. So inside the main statement, let's see how many statements we have. So this is the first statement. Second, we have a for loop, and inside the for loop we have our second statement. Next is a nested for loop, and inside nested for loop we have our third statement. Now let's see one by one their time complexity. So for the first, this is just an single statement, so it will be consuming only 1 unit of time. For second statement, it is inside the for loop, and this for loop is running from I equal to 1. It will run till the value of I is greater than n, and then is incrementing it by plus 1. So this is similar as the second example. So this loop will run a total of n time. So the entire second statement will run n times. So this will run from 1 to n, so total n times it will run. Now let's look at the third statement. So this statement is inside a nested for loop. So we will look at the inner loop first. So the inner loop will run from j equal to 1 till the value of j is smaller than or equal to n. So when the value of j become n plus 1, this loop will terminate, and the increment condition is j plus plus. So each time it will be incremented by 1. So this loop will run from j equal to 1 to n. So a total of n time it will run. So we can say this statement will run n time for the inner loop. Now let's look at the outer loop. So this is running from I equal to 1, and it will run until the value of I is smaller than or equal to n, and it is every time incrementing I by 1, I plus plus. So if we try run this code, so when the value of I is 1, the inner loop will run n time. After the incrementation, the I become 2, and for the value of 2, the inner loop will again run n times, and when the value become 3, then the inner loop will again run n times, and at some point time the value of I becomes n, and at that time also the inner loop will run n times, and when the value of I become n plus 1, the loop will terminate and it will not run again. If we sum up how many times the inner loop will run, so it will be n into n times. The outer loop will run n times, and for each iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop will run n times. So the total will be n square. So this inner loop will run n times and the outer loop will run n square times. Now let's check the complexity of overall program. So first statement will run one time, the second statement will run n times, and the third statement will run n square times. So we can write this as big O of 1 plus n square. Here also 1 plus n is very small if we compare it to n square for larger values. So we can ignore 1 plus n here, and the time complexity will become n square.